So we're gonna do something a little bit different today. I've got a box of seasoned sardines. These are the boneless, skinless, and olive oil, but I also have a box that I purchased back in 2020, same sardine, but this one's expired. It expired a year ago. So I thought it would be interesting to open up both of these and compare them side by side and see the difference between the expired sardine versus the brand new one that I just purchased. So let's get these open. So the new box and the old box, they obviously have changed the packaging on it, but everything else from what I see, the ingredients, the nutrition, both product of Morocco, nothing else appears to be different. So let's first open the new box. This one expires in 2029. So the new one's gonna go on top. And this one expired December of 23. So it's not super expired, but it's expired. Oh. Okay, so let's start opening the new can. Okay, looks like your typical boneless and skinless and olive oil. Olive oil looks nice. These are not extra virgin olive oil, just olive oil. Okay, let's open this one. I've actually never had a lid like this. Okay, so let me, oh so carefully, bring these both up. It looks like in the expired gold can that the oil looks darker. It's really the main difference I'm seeing right off the bat. I'm not advising anyone to eat expired canned meats or anything expired, but typically, I mean, I'm not scared to eat something that's past the expiration date, but I do go through a few things before I decide if I'm gonna eat it or not. The first one being like looking at the can, is the can bulging, leaking, that sort of thing. Then once I open it, you know, looking for anything fizzing, bubbling, foaming, those are not good signs. And then obviously the visual appearance of it, and then smelling it. So let's smell the new can. Just smells like tuna. And here's the old can. The scent in the old expired can is not as strong as the new can. Okay, let's pull a couple out here. And let's pull a couple out of the old can. These are falling apart a bit more, but not bad. I think the old expired one, the coloring looks a bit darker than the new, but all in all, pretty similar. I'm gonna dump some of the oil out, just take a different look at that. Whoa. So the new can, man, that is like way thinner and obviously lighter in color than this one. So that is interesting. That is a very thin, watery olive oil there. This looks more like regular olive oil to me. So now I'm wondering if they've changed their olive oil, if it's being thinned out possibly to cut down on costs. I don't know, but that is definitely pretty thin. Okay, so let's start by taking a bite of the new can. I've got a drink with me today because typically boneless and skinless are pretty dry. So that bite wasn't bad. It tastes like tuna. It's a bit dry. Not as dry as the Safe Catch that I had recently. In general, I don't really gravitate towards boneless and skinless sardines because it just tastes like tuna, and I like the taste of like the bristling sardines the most. Okay. Let's take another bite. For a boneless, skinless sardine, this actually isn't too bad. It does taste like tuna, but it's not quite as strong as some other boneless, skinless sardines that I've had. Okay, let's try the expired one. Let me smell it up close first, just in case. Yeah, this one's not putting off as much of a tuna fishy smell as the new can. Okay, here we go. Okay, that was interesting. It definitely has way less of a tuna taste than the new can. It's tasting more like a sardine than the new can, and it's a lot less dry than the new can. It's not oily. It's definitely juicier and more tender than the new can. So I'm wondering if over time, like the oils just had more time to absorb into the sardine. I'm not sure. But it's definitely not as dry and not as tuna-y. And to be honest, I think the expired can tastes better than the new can. Okay, let's take another big bite. So I'm a bit bored with these, so I have a little travel pack of Cholula hot sauce. So I'm gonna put some hot sauce on these and see if we can make them a little better. Let's open this up. Making a pretty big mess here. Okay, let's eat the new one with the Cholula. That was 100 times better. Now let's try it on the expired sardine. The expired sardine is just better. I would say it's like half as dry as the new one. The texture on it's better, it's just softer. I am curious about the oil because there is a huge difference, as you saw in the oil in the new one. That one was super thin and watery and light in color versus the expired one. So I am curious if they've changed some things in the ingredients or in the oil in particular over the years. I don't know, but there's definitely a big difference between the two of these. And I've got one more can of expired season back there, so I'm gonna let that sucker sit for a while and we'll come back to it at some point in time and try it again. But this was interesting. Sometimes things get shoved in the back of your cabinet and you forget about them, or maybe you bought sardines hoping to try them and just haven't yet. Maybe bust them out and take a look. But I'm glad I finally opened up that can and tried it, and I am surprised that I prefer the expired can over the new one. But thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.